いいですか？はい。Welcome back, everyone. And the 7th UNWTO World Forum on Gastronomy Tourism will start the afternoon session shortly. Please find your seat and be seated and while we wait for the session to begin. Thank you. 皆様、まもなく後半のセッションが
We will be starting the afternoon session soon. Please come back to your seat and we will be starting this session pretty soon.
Welcome back, everyone. Did you enjoy your lunch? I have. Yeah, I really enjoyed my bento box, and I hope you did too. And welcome back for the second part of this first day of the UNWTO World Forum on Gastronomy Tourism here in Nara City in Japan. And we would like to welcome our incredible audience who are watching this online via our hybrid platform or via YouTube. And for our in-person participants here, I would like to remind you that you have simultaneous translation available in 3 languages with your receiver. And the channel 1 is for Japanese, channel 2 is for Spanish, and channel 3 is for English. And for our online viewers, if you want to follow the sessions in another language on our platform, you can do that by tapping right on your screen to select your preferred simultaneous translation setting. And have you tweeted or posted anything on social media about this forum yet? And please spread the word and help us promote gastronomy tourism to the rest of the world by using the official hashtags WFGT2022 and hashtag gastronomy tourism. All right, we're going to start the afternoon session. Coming up later this afternoon, we'll challenge the Sustainable Development Goals by launching the Gastronomy Tourism Startup Competition Final. But first, we invite you to join us for the next session on sustainability, which is going to be led by Ms. Virginia Fernandez-Trapa, Program Officer at the UNWTO Sustainable Development of Tourism Department. Please give her a warm welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much, Ms. Noguchi, for the introduction. And thank you to the Nara Prefecture for organizing this important forum. Dear Excellencies, dear all, during this panel, we will discuss about food from the perspective of sustainability, mainly looking at the challenges and opportunities connected with the consumption of food in tourism, and placing special emphasis on the need to reduce food waste as a lever for transformation. I am honored to have the opportunity to moderate this session, as well as to frame it in the context of the work of the One Planet Sustainable Tourism Program, which UNWTO is leading to support addressing global challenges such as climate change, biodiversity loss, or pollution. Let's start with a video to introduce the topic. I would now like to invite the distinguished speakers to join me on stage. Mr. Eijiro Yamakita from JTB Corporation, Mr. Vincent Benjamin from UNWTO, Ms. Maddalena Fossati from Condé Nast, Mr. Benjamin Lefilibert from Light Blue Consulting, Ms. Sakiko Yamada from Food Loss Bank in Japan, Mr. Iñaki Gaztelumendi from the Basque Culinary Center, and Mr. Nakul Anand from ITC Limited. So we have seen it in the video. The food system has a problem. The food system is actually the constellation of activities that are involved in the production, processing, transporting, and consumption of food. And today, in its current form, is unsustainable. It's an unsustainable system. So we will be discussing about strategies to enhance the contribution of our sector, tourism, to a more sustainable food system, global food system. And this is also the objective of the global roadmap on food waste reduction in tourism, which we are releasing today, as the Secretary General Polo Lukashvili introduced this morning. So my first question is for Mr. Yamakita. Mr. Eijiro Yamakita is President and CEO of JTB Corporation and board member of UNWTO affiliate members in the Asia and the Pacific region. Mr. Yamakita, this morning we heard from distinguished keynote speakers about the connection between Japanese culture and gastronomy. Would it be possible for you to share with us some examples about how JTB Corporation is supporting tourism stakeholders that are promoting sustainable food?
Thank you, Virginia, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen. Food culture in Japan, as many of the keynote speakers mentioned, deeply rooted in the nature and history and economy, particularly in Japan, of the local community. I believe that the Japanese food culture is a kind of regional art that is deeply rooted in the traditional culture, and at the same time has continued to be refined through interaction with the outside society. Interaction has been deployed by the tourism. Since 6th century in Japan, the Asuka and Nara period in Japan, which began here in Nara, our Japanese culture has developed through trade, embracing cultures from Persia, India, Silk Road, Tang Dynasty, and Korean. I believe that the food for Japan, food for which Japan is now highly appraised by Michelin, for example, is the result of our ancestors' active introduction of the outside culture with an inclusive mindset and an appreciation of diversity since the Asuka period. Until now and from now on in the future, food product and services have been and will continue to be important sector in the tourism. Food is a showcase that reflects the lifestyle, traditional culture of people, the local communities. In Japan, there are ryokan, or traditional Japanese inns, that offer unique culinary and cultural experiences rooted in the traditional culture of each region. Applied to Spain, this service is like a parador combined with the regional food experiences. And in Spanish, it could be called parador con experiencia gastronómica. This ryokan-based food, travel, and tourism experience is rooted in the richness and the depth of Japanese local culture. When Miss Wangari Maathai, a famous environmental expert of Kenya, visited Japan in 2005, She praised the Japanese for their innovation and upcycling of the mottainai way of thinking, which is to conserve and to continue using things for a long time. I believe it is important to redesign the sustainability of tourism based on the value rooted in Asia and the Pacific. JTB was founded in the field of tourism, but now our business is not only connecting people to tourist destination, but also connecting the information, know-how, human resources, and systems necessary for people to continue to live and work in regions and in companies. I would like to introduce 3 specific examples. First, in the tourism business, on the left-hand side, we connect travelers with lodging business that are taking sustainable food actions at the point of inquiries and sales. We are promoting initiatives to support micro, small, and medium enterprises by our introduction of Japanese food culture at the rural area, such as no-haku, agro-tourism experiences in Japan, stay in the countryside, which is not yet well known to travelers in Japan and overseas. There's an exhibition outside of this room about this. We also recommend our customers to stay the accommodations and utilize the restaurant that are working on sustainable food actions such as avoiding foods and excessive packaging. Second, in the corporate solutions business, we are also taking to the challenges of connecting companies and farmers. This is very important actions. Many farmers are disposing of their agricultural product before they are shipped to urban areas because of the high cost of transportation from rural to urban area. We approached corporations in urban areas and co-produced ready-to-eat meat, ready-to-eat meal in using this vegetable in case of emergency. Good example, reducing the food waste and transforming them into corporate solution of emergency preparedness. Lastly, in our area solution business, we are working to connect foodstuff that are otherwise disposed to the marketplace. Specifically, we are using out-of-spec nuts and berries as chocolate toppings and turn them into high value-added product. This is part of JDB's excavation and transmission of a local attractiveness project, which began in September 2020. And the project aimed to discover and promote attractive local in Japan. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yamakita, for sharing about your holistic approach. In fact, the global roadmap, through the global roadmap, we are calling for a more holistic approach, including the sustainable procurement, sustainable menus, also more responsible consumption and circular disposal so that food never becomes waste.
I would have gone.
My next question is for Vincent. Vincent Benjamin is Commercial Director for the Asia Pacific region at UNWTO, and UNWTO is a provider of food waste management technology enabled with artificial intelligence. So Vincent, based on the data that you have available from the hotels and cruise lines that use your technology, could you help us frame the problem? Like how big is it? How much food waste is generated in tourism, and what are the implications in terms of costs?
Thank you, Virginia. First of all, I'm really happy to be invited here. I believe by now we all know that we have a problem of food waste, and it's nice to see that tourism industry is really taking the charge on trying to solve that. There is one figure that is quite well known already, that's 1/3 of the food produce is never eaten. And the problem is growing. So there is a Boston Consulting Group report which is forecasting that in 2030, if nothing changes, we'll be wasting 2.1 billion tons of food. And in terms of value, it's $1.5 trillion US. So it's very large. And hospitality industry is representing around 10% of that. So hospitality industry is generating $115 billion US of food waste every year. And when you think about the waste here, you need to take into account the other resources that are being used in order to produce the food. So we are talking energy, labor, logistic, packaging, so a negative impact on sustainability here. Before I continue, I just want to share on what UNWTO is doing in order to solve the problem. So for the one who don't know our company, we are providing AI tools to hospitality industry to help them run more profitable and sustainable kitchens by cutting their food waste in half. How does it work? We have a digital scale which is connected to a box, and there is a touch screen and a camera assisted by AI, which is able to recognize and record the food that is being thrown in a bin. And because we have this information, we are able to build analytical and to pinpoint where the waste is being produced and to stop it before it happens. So that's what we are doing. Today, we are working in over 1,000 of kitchens. And the first thing we do when we install a system in the kitchen, we are measuring how much food waste they are producing. What we see generally, typically, is that there are 5 to 15% of the food that they are buying that goes directly to the bin. So very large amount. And it's not because the culinary team and the chef are not willing to address it. It's because they are taking decisions and making forecasts in a very high pressure environment, and they don't have all the information that they need. So there is really a data gap here. And it's even more important when you think that where the waste is happening. 70% is happening before the food goes in the plate of the customer. It's on overproduction and on preparation. So that's departments that the kitchen can control if they know about it. And that's where data analytical can really help. When they know, they will be able to see what are the main items wasted. They will be able to look at the root cause and to make some changes and cut the food waste before it happens. Sorry. So, and the other important part is when you are cutting food waste, you are not only having an action on sustainability, you are also working on the business case. You are also saving money. I'll give you an example. You take an hotel that is spending $500,000 US per year in food cost. And now, on average, we will see that 10% is food waste, so $50,000 US. By cutting it in two, you have $25,000 US that will go directly to your P&L. So that's not only a question of sustainability, this is also a question of being competitive. By doing that, you are reaching two goals, sustainability and profitability. And you have a very good story in terms of marketing to tell to your customer. You can show them that you really care. And I think it's a very positive light that you are putting on your own organization. So at UNWTO, we are really fortunate. We are working with top industry players for hotels, group like Accor, Hilton, Marriott, IAG, cruise industry, Costa Cruise, for example, and even casino, Wynn and Sands, to mention a few. In Japan, and when there is this culture of respect of food, we have a great partnership with property like Hilton Tokyo Bay. It's successful because the team, from the general manager, which really care about sustainability, to the steward in the kitchen, they're really engaged and they are doing all the effort to do the reduction. And we have a great success story here. If you want to know more, I recommend you to go on UNWTO website and to look at their video testimonial. I think they will talk about it in a better way than I can do. And to finish on this part, the case study we are the more proud of, it's IKEA. IKEA, you might know, they have a very large F&B operation, 550 million guests in their restaurant every year. And working with UNWTO, we have engaged 20,000 of their staff in over 400, sorry, maybe that will be helpful, with over 400 outlets, and we are reaching over 50% reduction globally. And that's an important milestone because IKEA is the first global company to reach its commitment in terms of reducing food waste. So as a result, they are saving 20 million meals per year and $37 million every year. So this is a case that shows that tackling food waste is very important and it's also rewarding. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vincent. I think that the case for food waste reduction is now clear. We have a business case, we can reduce environmental impact, and also I would say there is a humanitarian case, taking into account that still 1 out of 9 people in the world go to bed hungry. Moreover, food waste is cross-cutting, as you can see on the slide, to all stages of food management, and therefore it can be a lever to accelerate sustainability. Let's hear now from Maddalena. Ms. Maddalena Fossati is editor-in-chief of La Cucina Italiana and head of content of Condé Nast Traveler Italia. She's global ambassador for sustainability of Condé Nast. Maddalena, La Cucina Italiana is engaging readers in the use of local ingredients, among other best practices. How is Condé Nast promoting a better understanding of food sustainability?
Thank you for the question, Virginia, and thanks to let me be here today. We are working hard on make all these messages being delivered correctly to the audiences, because without that message, we can't do a lot. So with La Cucina Italiana, for example, just a few words about the brand. It's been existing since 1929 in Italy. So it's like an institution. Before it was just a magazine. Now, of course, it's a digital platform, many different platforms. We are working a lot about food waste and also about reusing leftovers or using foraging, because all these subjects belongs already to our own tradition. Cuisine in Italy is based on these pillars. They are so contemporary nowadays, but they were coming from the past. It's very interesting because I heard this word tradition many times in this environment, and it's very important for us. For Italians, food is beyond food, beyond the meal. We are really identify our own culture in food. And being traditional, it doesn't mean to be old. It doesn't mean to give a look back, but it's meant to give a look forward. Because tradition comes from the Latin verb tradere, that it means deliver. So basically what we are trying to do is deliver what we had in the past toward the future. And doing the most beautiful way, because beauty in the iconic images and in the way we present our topics, it's important, because if we say to our audience, eat some, I don't know, a leftover or a food waste, something that comes from a waste, people it's not very appealing. So what we do every day is create beauty and to create the right message. The fact that tradition is strong and has to be the future, the fact that beautiful, the food sustainability can be beautiful. And so create the awareness that we need for getting in a much better planet. Convincing with the right message. And the message, we have 20,000 recipes in our archive. That is quite a lot. And they're changing, because it's important also to switch the mentality of the customers. I'm thinking when you go to restaurants or even at home, the idea is not that we, for example, in Italy, it's very obvious to satisfy our guests at home with large portion of food. I think it's important to give the message that the large portion of food is going to be leftover for sure. Maybe it's not important to engage ourselves in creating something back to leftovers, but instead to have not leftovers anymore. So when we go to a restaurant, maybe we can get the right amount of food, or not exaggerating, or not too small, or asking not what we want or what we expect to eat, but what really the nature is able to give in our plate that day, in that moment of the season. Or even eating aggressive species, like we do, for example, in a restaurant in Venice with 1 Michelin star. where we basically eat the blue crab. That is a big problem in Venezia for La Laguna because there are too many. So the solutions are definitely on the plate, if you allow me to do this example. And it's important that in this solution, we are creating, I mean, in Italy, and I think in Japan and many parts of the world, gastronomy, it's tradition often and identity. And in the important chapter of becoming more sustainable, I think in identity we have also to switch our way of identify ourselves when we have a meal. Let's go to, for example, the sense of community, the sense of generosity. It's crucial to solve the problem because in my my hometown in Milan, I have a neighbor that is very old, so he cannot go for food shopping, for example. And there is this guy that has an amazing market right in front of us. And every Saturday, he brings food shopping at home, organic. Okay, the market is not that charming. It's in a parking lot in Milan, but the food is really good. And for example, this guy brings all the food for all the building, basically. And we share a lot. We share the food, we share the idea, we share companies, because sustainability, it's a matter of sharing food in the right way, but also sharing our attitude towards society, our way to live together, our way to stand together in front of a problem. And with La Cucina Italiana, of course, with Condé Nast, we are working hard on that, where several editors with different subjects. Of course, as you know, the company is more devoted to fashion, but we are working on different fields, to tourism, of course, with Condé Nast Traveler, in order to understand and also to make awareness in the audiences and we can't solve the problem if we don't engage ourselves in the first instance on solving the problem. So I think that we have to stay in the idea that in this planet, we are not the owners, we are guests. And as we said in Italy, after 3 days, the guest is like a fish. After 3 days, you smell bad if you stay too long. I think the 3 days are over, so now we need to be guests instead of owners. Thank you, and grazie.
Thank you, Maddalena, very much for reminding us about the link of gastronomy and identity, as you said. And I hope the reduction of food waste would also become tradition and part of our identity. Let's continue discussing how tourism can be part of the solution with Benjamin. Benjamin Lefilibert is CEO of Light Blue Consulting. He's a food waste hacker since 2012, a guest lecturer on food waste in culinary schools, and co-designer of the Pledge certification, as well as the founder of the UN awarded Light Blue, a tech and consulting firm working on food waste prevention with hotel groups, restaurants, government, and development agencies. Benjamin, could you share with us some of the key elements that you integrated in the Zero Food Waste project in Mauritius, please?
Thank you. Thank you very much for the invitation. Good afternoon. Japan is just after a nice meal, so everybody is a bit, I would say sleepy. So we're gonna hope to share a bit. So thanks for the introduction. Indeed, I started the journey on food waste about 10 years ago now. Started from the hotel sustainability angle. So I was working first with Accor Hotel Group, and then with the UN on addressing issues such as energy, water, waste, chemicals, staff awareness, guest engagement. And then started to realize that there was those bins full of food. And I'm not from the industry, so first I thought like I was a bit of a fraud, I was like, okay, I'm not a chef, but I need to ask because I see those bins full of food. I'm like, how many kilos are in this bin? And what is it? And why are you wasting? And how much did it cost you? And I couldn't get an answer. I would see that blank look on their faces, and I would be like, I don't think it's a stupid question, and it's funny that you can't answer it. And that's still the case. And this lack of knowledge, I think, is essential and what actually drawn me into this sort of topic. Then I realized the amazing impact of food waste from a social and environmental perspective. But then I knew that this angle, the financial aspect, would be the key lever to get the industry to move on this topic, as Vincent mentioned earlier. So that's how I started. But at the beginning, I was like, okay, but that's funny. There must be some people working on it. And actually, no. At the time, there was actually no actual definition of what is food waste. And I was like, but we don't really care. I mean, we know this is food that is going to the bin. It's wrong. There should be enough to get going. And that's how I started. First, I was alone. So I convinced a general manager to let me try a methodology that I built. I was at the back of house measuring every food that was going to the bin out of 8 different recording points. And then moving forward, fine-tune our methodology, train the staff, collect data, and trying to review the procedures. And actually all this work actually combined created very nice results. But we were way too early at the time to get the industry to move, because the figures that we had was not digestible. That was not acceptable. It was just too freaky, you know. It was like, this is too big. You must be wrong. We're doing great. See you later. So I was like, no. Let's continue. Let's persist. And well, now 10 years later, we have designed multiple type of solutions, because I think that food waste is a complex issue that requires elaborated solutions. So technology, as was presented earlier, is part of it. Collecting data, information to answer the key question, how much, when, where, what, and why is food wasted, is essential. But what is essential too is to work on the brain and on the heart of people that are working in the kitchen. So what we say always with our customers is like, start with the why. Start to get your team to understand why food waste is an issue. Otherwise, they would see it as something that is pushed on them. You know, there's something that that is a new constraint. Oh, we don't have time. It's super busy, etc. Now you want me to segregate and weigh food? Yes, but if they can answer why, like from a financial, environmental, social point of view, then they would contribute. Not only they would do what is requested, but they will come up with ideas. But it's not yet enough. Even though you can start with awareness raising and monitoring, I think you can probably reduce food waste by 30 to 40%. Even more if you're really into it. But then you need some sort of methodology, and that's how the Pledge on Food Waste certification was actually created, by realizing that you kind of need a roadmap, to take the terminology, a set of requirements that you follow to make sure that you have all preventive measures in place to minimize food waste at first, but then to also look at, once you have minimized, what can you do to redistribute for human consumption through app or through charities? If not possible, what do you do with the remaining organic to transform it into animal feed, if it's possible, or to transform it into something valuable, such as waste to energy or waste to compost, and to re-nourish the soil. So that's the approach, which is zero food waste to landfill approach, which technically then led us to the final slide, which is the zero food waste to landfill Mauritius project, which was basically a combination of, well, all the know-how accumulated over those years and the different type of solutions that I presented earlier, from the capacity building of the 10 restaurants that were actually implementing the solution, but also the capacity building of local consultants that were involved in the project so that they could carry on this project once we are out, plus the technology to capture data and understand and answer those key questions. And that is encapsulated into this certification system that is providing the right methodology to follow through. And I think the figures speak for themselves. We're talking about only 10 restaurants, so 43% reduction in food waste per cover. That's the key indicator we're looking at. 62,000 kilos of food that were not wasted, and accumulated 210,000 USD saving equivalent for those 10 beneficiaries. So that's what I wanted to share, and I hope we have a chance to discuss separately the possibility to replicate this sort of very cost-effective and scalable system. Thank you.
Thank you, Benjamin, for sharing such an inspiring example of a destination taking action on food waste. Let's continue our journey from Italy to Mauritius and now back to Japan. My next question is for Ms. Yamada. Ms. Akiko Yamada is president of an award-winning company, Food Loss Bank, by Japan Times, and received Game Change Maker. She was awarded Commander Decoration from the King of Spain for her sustainable work and covered by many media globally. Her work was featured by UN, by FAO in particular, as a masterclass, and she's also an ambassador for the world's 50 best restaurants. Sakiko, what are the initiatives that you are leading which you think are being more successful in influencing citizens and also policymakers and businesses?
Well, okay, thank you very much for having me, first of all. So first, we always tell them why we have to work on food loss and food waste programs, especially on tourism. When you talk about GHG, which is a greenhouse gas, people always talk about the fright shame and everything. But if you look at the numbers, freight only produce 1.4% of emission. But on the other hand, food loss and food waste emit 8.2%, which is almost as much as all the car transportation, including taxi, cars, and trucks and everything. And if you look at the entire food system, which starting from the production, packing, and eating, and cooking, and everything, it's about 21 to 37% of entire emission, according to IPCC. So I call it loss shame rather than fright shame. But people think, oh, food loss and waste is not a big issue, but that's 1/3 of the emissions actually coming from the food loss and waste. And if you see the food loss and waste as a country, it's actually the 3rd largest emitter. So this is the reason why we have to work on food loss and waste in any industry. And when we talk to the companies we work with, we do work with global brands and also very local companies. And I call it global. I think it's, a lot of people have heard of it, global approach. So we do have to have a global point of views, but we have to cater to the local, or we have to take local authentic things to bring it to the global. But it's a matter of diversity in Japan. It's a homogeneous country. We don't have many races, but it's not only men and women LGBT, but the size of corporations and the city and the local press is also a diversity. And we do have this project called Agri Love. It's not agriculture, agri, it's agri, U-G-L-Y, Agri Love. And we brand a local farmer's product and then have them use at the Gucci and Bulgari and then the big brand corporation to use the local product. It doesn't mean, like Madalena said, the traditional is to deliver. We're not changing anything about the traditional local things, but we change the way to appeal to the others, so that we change the way to deliver that to or promote to the global audience. And it helps to work that with the global audience. And for example, we recently started the project called the Rescue Rice. In Japan, every year we have a new rice. So the old rice, in one day, the new rice become old rice. And the old rice have nowhere to go, so it's usually stored at the storage, which actually costs money. So we branded it, and then we asked like Bulgari and Armani to use it. It's for the risotto. So now we don't have to bring the rice from Italy. So we save the carbon footprint, and we also save the domestic farmers. So we do have a lot of cross-culture, cross-border, cross-size approaches. And what else? So we do have a lot of a project that, this is actually when we were featured as a masterclass by UNWTO. We do a lot of sustainable project, but the most important thing when we do the sustainable project is to making sustainability sustainable. In Japan, doing good things tend to be donation or volunteers, and that's okay to set aside, like a CSR, to set aside a budget to do something for good. But if you want to do the sustainability sustainable, we do have to make the project or company sustainable. So every project we do, so all the companies in cities, they all actually financially making profit. Otherwise, we can't keep doing the same thing in the future. So we were featured at making sustainability sustainable by the UNWTO. So that's how we approach the companies and things to explain why, and then we can make sustainability sustainable.
Thank you, Sakiko, very nice initiatives. I think it would be fantastic if we could replicate some of those initiatives also with more tourism brands. Our next speaker is coming from India. Mr. Nakul Anand is Executive Director of the Board of ITC Limited, an Indian conglomerate with diversified portfolios like hotels, consumer goods, paper, and many others. Its hospitality business, ITC Hotels, has pioneered the concept of responsible luxury, and ITC is the only company in the world of its size to have achieved the global environmental distinction of being carbon, water, and solid waste recycling positive enterprise for over 15 years in a row. So, Mr. Anand, as part of your commitment to responsible luxury, you are implementing a variety of initiatives to manage food more sustainably. Could you take us through a quick tour of salient initiatives and also your achievements in terms of food waste reduction?
Thank you, and it's an honor to be here. The ITC Hotels Group runs and owns about 115 hotels in 6 brands with over 11,000 rooms. A decade ago, when we decided to get into the luxury space, the challenge was to blend luxury and sustainability in a business conventionally known to be indulgent. It was believed that one you indulge in. Deliberations led us to choose that either or wasn't an alternative. We had to combine the two, and therefore we took the path less traveled. Thus was born Responsible Luxury. Today, of our 23 owned hotels, all 23 are LEED Platinum certified, first of its kind in the world. We have the world's first 9 LEED Zero Carbon certified hotels, and we've surpassed the 2030 sectoral emission targets that COP has set for 2030. Over 50% of our electricity consumption is through renewable sources. We eliminate all single-use plastic, eliminating 2.5 kgs annually. We reduce 50% of fresh water consumption over the last 5 years, sequestering 95,000 tons of carbon dioxide annually. Over 50% of our food and beverage comes from sources locally. And more about this later, the number of programs we've developed to encourage consumers to have local food. Experts rightly say that 2 habits tower above all others in their environmental impact to help save the planet: quit wasting food and eat less meat. Rightly so. When food rot, it emits a gas 20 times more potent than carbon dioxide. Proud to say, and if I may take leave of modesty, that we recycle more than 99% of our solid waste that is generated. This includes rescued foods that are repurposed, upcycled whenever possible, segregation, quantification, and measurement of food waste at source for stakeholder sensitization, spent oil for soap and biodiesel, and every hotel is provided with an organic waste converter and biomethanation purpose for other useful purposes. Moving to some of our food and beverage efforts, we are inspired by the wisdom of our ancestors. The Indian cuisine, imbibing its principles from Ayurveda, is anchored on 2 pillars: wellness and sustainability. You've heard from some of the other speakers of the steps that are necessary in terms of wastage, right portioning, etc. ITC Hotels has put together a number of programs to put this together, and allow me to take you through some of these. Alert Meats is a banqueting initiative with menus so designed to provide a green banqueting, as long as restricting food coma after the food, because many times after lunch, right, they become less productive, your meetings. One Bite Wonders are chef-crafted, reimagined appetizers. They're nutritious, right-sized, and eco-conscious. Choose wisely. I'll speak about it later in a full slide. Welcome's Meal is a dining experience created for the in-room single diner. These are well-balanced meals, correctly portioned, that allow minimal wastage with luxury of choice. Pavilion Pure is a blend of fruit and vegetable fresh juices, rich in oxidants, curated with seasonal and local ingredients. Every person, 95% according to statistics, have breakfast in the hotel, And if you're to make an impact through a message, you've got to do it through breakfast. Therefore, Signature Mornings is a reimagined breakfast presenting superfoods in contemporary breakfast renderings, including forgotten grains. The Nut Jar, again, is a breakfast offering emphasizing the nutritional credentials of nuts, such as omega-3, essential fatty acids, and high dietary fibers. Local Love, a most interesting program, is a selection of local food and beverage favorites by our food Sherpas. Every hotel has a food Sherpa who's a chef. They go out into the market, bring recipes that help preserve local heritage, use local ingredients, and lesser-known cooking techniques. Sattva stands for purity in Sanskrit. This vegetarian initiative is premised on truth and purity of vegetarian cuisine, all the way from procurement, cooking, storage, and service. They are not mixed with non-vegetarian food at all. Welcome Sthalika, I'll take in a second. Route to SEM is a buffet-based program in the buffet, rooted in the tenets of sustainable practices to create widespread awareness of waste. Plant-based is constant work by our chef on a number of plant-based initiatives to create new plant-based menus. The feel-good menu is which evolved during the pandemic in our takeaway from in-depth research, uses ingredients to boost immunity while revitalizing, detoxifying, and repairing mind and body. Just to take you through some of them, some of our programs, one that we are proud of is the Choose Wisely program. This is ITC Hotel, which is the first hotel to participate in the World Wildlife Fund Choose Wisely program, aimed at promoting informed choices on fish consumption, incorporating a visual mnemonic to our menus on what fish to eat and what not to. Every region across India has its own thali, or what is known as sthalika. This is Lokava food. Welcome Sthalika is a tribute to the local cuisine where each hotel is located, presenting a composite assortment in a balanced combination of lentils, local millets, seasonal fresh produce, and meats. Swasthya is a melange of modern revival flavors that promote wellness and restoration, calm the mind, uplift the mood, enhance the memory, and slow down the effect of aging. Before I conclude, just like to remind everybody that do remember that there is enough research to show that sustainable food is also healthy food. Therefore, I end my quote with the apologies to people in the pharmaceutical industry by taking a quote from the Vedas going into our past scriptures. And I quote, "Without a proper diet, medicines are of no use. With a proper diet, medicines are unnecessary." Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Anand, sir, for sharing with us, I would say, an appetizer of ITC efforts. It's impressive, the breadth of initiatives that you are implementing. Of course, we look forward to continue learning more. Before we move into the next panelist, I would like to build on one of the concepts presented by Mr. Anand, which is the food waste hierarchy. It's actually important to keep in mind this pyramid, and because what this pyramid is telling us is the order in which our efforts make most sense. And also Benjamin was talking about this concept before, so we should primarily focus on preventing food waste from happening in the first place. Then the food waste which is still remaining needs to be redistributed to people first, and whichever is still left shall be diverted from landfill via animal feed or biomaterial processing, such as composting or energy recovery, for example. This is not always such a straightforward because it depends on the local regulations, but if we keep this pyramid in mind, I think we will maximize the impact of our efforts. And the global roadmap, which we are launching today, is rooted in this hierarchy. And now, Iñaki, it's your turn. Mr. Iñaki Gaztelumendi is a technical coordinator at the Basque Culinary Center, where he coordinates different projects, including research, and he's also a strategic consultant in the tourism sector. Iñaki, our panel has been anchored on SDG 12, which focuses on sustainable consumption and production. And gastronomy can nevertheless have broader impacts than SDG 12 and actually contribute to implementing the whole Agenda 2030. on sustainable development. So could you share with us the findings of your latest research, please?
Of course. Well, good afternoon, Virginia. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me to this amazing country, to this beautiful city, and to participate in this round table and to share the stage with such interesting visions from my colleagues and initiatives on the future of the planet and the role of that gastronomy can play in the current context. In this regard, I would like to recommend the reading of Wendell Berry's work, The Pleasures of Eating. Berry is an American writer, he's a poet, he's a farmer, who in my opinion is a reference in the field of sustainable gastronomy. In this book that has more than 40 years, it comes from the 80s of the last century, Berry describes the importance of understanding the connection between eating and the land in order to extract pleasure from our food. For that reason, he says that eating is an agricultural act. It's because he understands that it's very important for us to be conscious that what are the sources of the food that we use to try. Now, precisely this year, like you said, the Basque Culinary Center has produced, in collaboration with the Ibero-American General Secretariat, a report on the contribution of gastronomy to the achievement of sustainable development goals. The report, I'm sorry, has been published in Spanish and Portuguese, that are the main languages of the Ibero-American region, but I hope that it will be soon available in English. Well, in this report, more than 14 experts have participated, which includes 34 samples of initiatives in 16 Ibero-American countries. We have reached 30 conclusions and recommendations, but don't worry, Virginia, because I know that I don't have time to detail the whole report, but I would like to remark the main conclusions and recommendations. And the first one is that we have to understand that gastronomy is a sector with multiple dimensions that has an enormous cultural, social, economic, and environmental importance, and plays a growing, multifunctional, connecting role in contemporary societies. We must recognize that gastronomy has a difficult perimeter to delimit, and that is why at the Basque Culinary Center we advocate for this 360-degree vision of gastronomy. And we have to assume as well that we are facing one of the most influential symbolic manifestations of today's society. The second is that the planet is facing the depletion of natural resources due to the overexploitation and overconsumption, overfishing, deforestation, scarcity of water or fossil fuels, waste management, etc. And gastronomy has been yet another expression of an economic system that has uncritically relied on the growth model that causes environmental impacts, territorial imbalances, and social inequality. In fact, food waste is at the heart of the uses to be transformed by sustainable gastronomy. And Virginia, I therefore take this opportunity to congratulate UNWTO for the global roadmap on food waste reduction in tourism, because we think exactly that these are the kind of initiatives that we have to develop to have a better tourism in the future. And we also have to understand that long supply chains reduce the benefits of producers and trivialize the consumer experience. The third main conclusion is gastronomy is a driving force for sustainable development. In our opinion, gastronomy is a lever of change for sustainable development. And in my opinion, gastronomy is one of the forces that move the world. It's a tool with a great impact on society. In this regard, we must remark, as we have seen this morning, the cultural, social, and environmental commitment of chefs. We also have to notice the paradigm shift due to the COVID-19 crisis. We are looking now for more local, conscious, sustainable, and healthy gastronomy, and the importance of concepts like as circular economy or gastrodiplomacy. The fourth conclusion is that the digital revolution is an accelerator. This crisis has accelerated the digitalization of the gastronomy sector, and technology provides new means to connect with people in other countries, new business models, like we have seen in this panel, improved operational and logistical efficiency, knowledge and training opportunities. The fifth is the importance of human factor. Businesses must be profitable in order to be able to fairly and equitably remunerate all the agents involved in gastronomy value chain. We need to improve the living conditions of people working in our sector, and we have to attract, to stimulate, and to retain talent. But the public sector must also create the conditions for the development of sustainable gastronomy. And this will be possible with the collective effort. Partnerships are key to the transformation of the sector. Public-private partnerships and the role of local communities are crucial to address the complexity of food value chains at the sector as a whole. And finally, in our opinion, the change has begun. We all know that the road to building inclusive food systems, equitable societies, and integrated community development is long and challenging, but the potential of gastronomy to contribute to a more sustainable society is unquestionable. And we have to understand that gastronomy will be sustainable or it won't be. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Iñaki, for reminding us once more about the potential of sustainable gastronomy to address not only SDG 12.3, which is the specific target in Agenda 2030 asking us to halve food waste, but also other SDGs. We can address hunger, food security, inequality, climate, economic growth, etc. As we have a couple minutes left, well done, everyone. Let's share a short answer to a common question, if you agree. What would you tell businesses or destinations that are still not prioritizing the sustainable management of food? In 30 seconds, what would be your call? Mr. Yamakita, let's go one by one, please.
Yeah, this is a call for the business partner inside, outside. We want to create the sustainable tourism supply chain involving as many people as possible. So please share the ideas, any kind of ideas with our 423 offices inside Japan, outside, 187 offices all over the world. So please share the idea and involve many people. Thank you.
So very simple message, food is too valuable to be wasted, and there is identified solution to avoid it. So there is no excuse today not to address it, and happy to discuss further if you want more advice about it. Thank you.
I think if we don't do anything, these companies that don't do anything, they missed the next generations, because next generations are going to ask strongly about sustainability, and they're more careful about all the subject that we are talking today.
Yeah, I would say that what is currently missing is something as simple as a database of food waste solution providers that any players in the ecosystem can turn to. And this is, something from those that can collect the organic waste to those that can provide technology or apps or train people. And this ecosystem is currently missing, and there is now ways to centralize it. I would think it would help a lot.
So I think almost every single of tourism involved with the carbon footprint, unless it's tourism, the cycling tourism. So there should be the place to do the carbon offset, because especially like younger generation and the luxury sector, they really care about the carbon offset. So maybe that can start from your kitchen.
Well, I just have two short messages to share. And then the first one is that we have a collaborative and multidimensional challenge lies ahead. And the second is that we need to move from words to action.
We will not be able to restrict global warming without changes in the way the world eats, because we play such an important part of the system. And therefore, my message would be that in our responsible present lies our sustainable future.
Thank you so much. I would say food waste is everyone's business. So let's do it. We really need to prioritize this very important issue. Thank you very much, dear colleagues. You have been fantastic. I look forward to continue engaging with you, as well as with our audience, those connected online in the implementation of the global roadmap on food waste reduction in tourism. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, panel and moderator, Ms. Fernandez-Trapa. And please, may we have you gather on the center of the stage, to the center of the stage for some photos. We have official photographers. ここでお写真の時間です。カメラをお持ちの方。
Those who have the cameras, you are also have an opportunity to take a picture.
And what we learned about the food waste problem was really, really alarming. But it was still very inspiring to have all the players in the food and gastronomy industry to tackle and put together their initiatives in action. Hi, thank you so much. Please make your way back to your seats. And once again, give another big hand to the panel. Thank you. And next up, innovation startups and how we can scale them up while ensuring revenue, cultural preservation, and sustainability. The third Global Gastronomy Tourism Startup Competition, accelerating gastronomy tourism initiatives to achieve the GDSs, will showcase the finalists who will pitch their ideas to you and the jury. And we're going to change the stage setup one moment until we are ready for the next session. Moving on, to guide us through the next session, I would like to invite to the stage Ms. Adaya Arizmendi, UNWTO Innovation Specialist, and Mr. Ander Lopez Delgado, Entrepreneurship Manager at the Basque Culinary Center. Please welcome them to the stage. Please enjoy a brief video about the competition.
Through gastronomy, we discover new worlds, flavors, and emotions. Experiences that are deepened thanks to tourism and multiplied through technology. Gastronomy tourism is a sector with big opportunities for development that stimulates entrepreneurship and innovation. the World Tourism Organization and Basque Culinary Center joined together to launch the global competition for gastronomy tourism startups. Gastronomy tourism has also proven key for creating jobs, driving rural development, and fostering global understanding. We seek innovation projects with a disruptive and open vision. Projects that are capable of revolutionizing the gastronomy tourism sector through different perspectives. New technologies, local impact, sustainability, and waste.
Konnichiwa. Thank you all, ministers, excellencies, participants, colleagues. Here we are today. We've made it finally to the round of the third Global Gastronomy Tourism Startup Competition. We are now here to showcase talent from 6 selected entrepreneurs, carefully chosen out of hundreds, who are rising to meet the challenges posed by the Sustainable Development Goals. The solutions you will learn more about today are not just inventive and disruptive, but are also impactful, with a long-term goal of contributing to the 2030 agenda. However, before we move to the pitching round, I would like to give the floor to the Director of the Education, Innovation, and Investments Department, who was not able to join us here today in person. So if we can use her video.
Dear ministers, dear high-level participants, dear UNWTO team, it's my pleasure to be here with you, working and promoting innovation as one of the main pillars of this organization. Today, Japan is celebrating one of the most amazing journeys when it comes to gastronomy, the World Gastronomy Tourism Forum. And of course, we had the pleasure to bring there the top finalists of the third Gastronomy Startup Competition powered with Basque Culinary Center. As you know, innovation is a key driver for bringing a more sustainable tourism. Thanks to sustainability and thanks to innovation, thanks to inclusion, thanks to education, thanks to investments. Those are like the 5 pillars that can help us to promote a better tourism for all. I have very good news. As you know, we have created this startup competition 3 years ago, and yearly we have had more than 90 nationalities, more than 700 applications, and the best thing of all, 42% of the startups that are applying to our gastronomy startup competition are led or founded by a woman. This is incredible. Remember that 44% of the young, talented minds that works in tourism desire to become an entrepreneur. So pushing and promoting startup competitions is part of the way if we want this youth empowerment, this gender equality. Today, I have the pleasure to introduce to the 6 finalists of this journey. We have Korean, Japanese, Colombian, Armenian, Italian, and a Bulgarian startup. This is crucial because we have diversity that is part of our UNWTO DNA. And we have startups solving different types of challenges: rural development, climate change, diversity, waste management, among others. And of course, bringing and using the technology as a way to give others solutions and as a way to be more efficient in this business. Today, I just want to congratulate all the startups that have applied during this 3rd edition. I have seen more than 200 applications. That's incredible. I don't know what we will need to do the next year to have more and more to come, because 200 from all around the world is really a success. But the most important thing about this journey is to take advantage of this journey, to listen to the startups, to connect with them, to do an amazing network in order to see if there are any investment opportunities, pilot projects in the near future, or collaborations between the public and the private sector. I desire all the best to you during this amazing journey. And of course, let's rock the scenario with all these young entrepreneurs that are here not only to stay, but also to take the lead on a different way to promote tourism. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Ander Lopez. I'm the Entrepreneurship Manager of the Basque Culinary Center. And from the Basque Culinary Center, thanks to the team of Daya, Natalia, and so, we are really pleased to be here in Nara and to have selected what we think are the best startups of the world in gastronomy tourism. I'm going to explain how it works. The startup elevator pitch is going to be 6 startups, and they have 6 minutes and 30 seconds to present their ideas. And then we will hear a gong. The winner, it will be announced once all the startup pitches have ended, and the jury will evaluate the different startups in different aspects like the business model, the quality of the solution, the potential of scalability, the team, the social impact, the environmental impact, and also the use of the new technology. I wish all the startups the best of luck. And also, now we are going to start with our first gastronomy tourism startup. It's going to be Serkan Toso, the co-founder of BuyFood from Japan, that is going to share his idea about a one-stop food tourism experience in Japan that needs to meet with any of the consumers. So welcome on stage and good luck to everyone.
Hello everyone, I am Serkan. I am a co-founder of BuyFood.com, Japan's one-stop platform for foodie travelers. Sorry, it doesn't move. Okay. Can we start again? Sorry. Thank you so much. Okay. Hello, everyone. I am Serkan, co-founder of BuyFood.com, Japan's one-stop platform for foodie travelers. I am originally from Turkey. I first came to Japan in 2015 to study for my master's degree. It was in a rural part of Japan, and it was very challenging for me to reserve restaurants because I didn't speak any Japanese. When I went to a restaurant, there was no English menu, so I didn't know what to order. I always needed my Japanese friends to help me. After graduation, I moved to Tokyo, hoping that it will be different because it is the largest metropolitan area in the world, but I was wrong. Then I researched the issue, figured out that more than 90% of the restaurants in Japan require a phone call for reservations. At the same time, 70% of the travelers come to Japan may need to eat Japanese food. So therefore, I launched BuyFood.com to provide a better dining experience and remove language barriers in dining in Japan. At BuyFood, we provide authentic and memorable food experiences and encourage people to try new food and visit new places. More than 50% of the travelers to Japan visit only Tokyo, Osaka, and Kyoto, and they only know about sushi, ramen, tempura. Because of this, we started our blog, YouTube, social media to educate and inspire people before they come to Japan. And when they're in Japan, they can book our food experiences, reserve restaurants, and enjoy Japanese food with no language barriers. And when they go back to their country, they can order the food they ate from the people they met in Japan using our e-commerce system. We also create original food experiences and secret menus that are only available on our platform. For example, we created this luxury ramen experience. When you go to the restaurant, it is not on the menu. If you book it on BuyFood, you can eat it in the restaurant. We promoted with a YouTuber, achieved 10 million views, and the restaurant sales doubled. We create technologies to provide accessible dining. In Japan, restaurants are very traditional. Some of them are still using fax machines. So instead of convincing them to start using online reservation systems, we created a technology that takes the reservation information from our platform, transform it to voice, and make a phone call automatic to the restaurant in Japanese. Using this system, we can connect any restaurant in Japan with travelers. For example, this is an example phone call just informing about the date, customer information, etc. I will continue. YouTube is our main marketing platform. Our own YouTube channel has 100,000 subscribers, and we also collaborate with other YouTubers. From these collaborations, we achieved 150 million views at no cost. Our main revenue comes from booking commissions on the platform. We make around 30% from the bookings, and we make around $30 from bookings and $15 from e-commerce orders. We also generate revenue from partnerships, advertisements, and consulting services. COVID was really difficult for us. Japan was closed for 2.5 years. During this period, we focused on the restaurant consulting services. We helped them with video, technology, content, and achieved $1 million in the last year alone, and finished this period as a profitable company. Now we have more than 200 companies selling their experiences, e-commerce products, more than 10,000 restaurant networks, 6 million monthly social media reach. We have participated in several accelerator programs, and this year recently we are selected also the best online travel agency in Japan in the World Luxury Travel Awards. We have been working with the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestries, local governments, private companies to create and promote food experiences in local areas also, not only main cities. So we are ready to welcome tourists from anywhere in Japan. I believe businesses can play an important role in solving social problems. When we started this business with my business partner, we decided to donate 10 school lunch meals to children in developing countries for every booking we received. Today, we achieved 380,000 meal donations through our Food for Happiness project. Now we are planning to expand our business into other countries. We are looking for businesses, we are looking for countries with strong food culture, language barriers, and potential government funding. After expanding into Asia, we want to cover all the world and eventually become the world's largest food travel platform. Now we are raising our Series A round, so investors, travel, and food companies can contact me at sarkan@buyfood.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Serkan. I think you might have convinced more than one person in the audience to download your application. So next up, we have Denica Georgieva and Maria Kioseva from Bulgaria for the startup Local Food, which uses blockchain to provide the trust necessary for local farmers and vacation restaurants to trade directly amongst themselves. Good luck.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Denica.
I'm Maria. We're Local Food.
There were 1.5 billion international arrivals globally in 2019. 60% of travelers say they pick a destination for its great food or drink. But do they get it? This is what tourists most often eat. It's a plastic tomato grown on a monoculture farm. And this is what is locally available.
Sustainable food is being grown by local farmers. But in most cases, it doesn't reach tourists because it has to compete with industrial farming along global supply chains dominated by big players. And this is a game small farmers cannot win. So we're here to help.
We're building a platform where tourists can find restaurants that use local ingredients. Tourists can read about their food, the people who produced it, and the green practices that were used. Tourists can find food-related events in the area and have fun.
This is how we do it. 2 platforms, a trading platform for restaurants and farms to trade in privacy, and a tourist platform. So at the point of delivery, the trading platform informs the tourist platform that an item is already available in the restaurant's inventory, so that later, when the tourist browses the menu, he or she can see where the food comes from, what it contains, and who produced it. We're building local food on Corda. It is a DOT technology built originally for banks. So it has all kinds of privacy and financial grade features. It is very good for connecting networks, extremely cost effective for SMEs, and super scalable.
On our food trading platform, farmers and restaurants get to trade in a trusted environment. Farmers get access to a premium market. 15 to 35% of additional value added becomes distributable among participants. As a premium service, we will sell local food card. Our card gives discounts at restaurants, access to food-related events, and offers by partners in our network.
Business model, 5 cents per transaction per SMEs for the food trading platform, €3 projected ad revenue for the tourist platform, and the local food card costs €10.
Will this sell? We conducted a survey with 200 tourists in the region of Burgas, Bulgaria. We asked them whether they would pay a premium price for a salad made of these tomatoes. 60% of them said they would.
But while it's very hard to say no to a heart-shaped tomato, what happens when you actually have to put down your money? So we decided to make a mock-up of the local food cart, got some local restaurants to back it, and asked the tourists if they would buy it. 21% bought it. Moreover, more than half of them used it more than 3 times, and 85% of tourists recouped the cost of the cart from discounts. Market, for the time being, we're focusing on the European market. It is 60 million users for the local food cart and 180 million for the tourist platform. Demographically, millennials and Gen Zs comprise more than 50% of our prospective users, but boomers and Gen Xs like it too.
Agriculture's links to biodiversity, human society, and the world's economy make it one of the most important frontiers for sustainability. As noted at the UN Food Systems Summit last year, the future of the world depends on good food. It's that simple. Tourism is uniquely positioned to contribute. Local food uses DOT to power shorter supply chains between small farmers and restaurants. It helps tourists demand sustainable food, support small farmers, and bring about green change everywhere they visit. These are some of our supporters, the best known among them, the International Federation of Organic Agriculture Movement, Mediterranean branch. We were part of the Block IS program and won first prize at their Open Call 3, and we are currently part of Urban Tech, both of them Horizon Europe projects.
Local food is being developed by a very experienced team with complementary expertise. We started out as an ogre outfit, but we recently let in a guy for diversity. Here is where we're at now. We are in beta, a web app, and it is being tested with a small network in our hometown, Burgas, Bulgaria.
In spring 2023, we will be building an MLP for the municipality of Kran, Slovenia, within Urban Tech. Kran is one of the 100 cities that the European Union has pledged to be climate neutral and smart by 2030.
In summer 2023, we're going to make a pilot in Burgas, Bulgaria, with 20 restaurants and 30 farms.
We're raising 300,000.
For it, we're going to build the full platform.
So if all goes well, local food will be a platform that connects small farmers, restaurants, and tourists, built on the best of technology.
We will have a basis in Bulgaria and in Slovenia to start from. And everyone out there, if by 5 years we're not in your region, no, we're trying and we're coming. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Denise and Maria. And now we go to a third startup that is going to be 3492 Armenia. Welcome to the States, Anahit Galanstian, the Director of Operations and Strategy, and she's going to explain out how they are providing high-quality food with experience and in rural communities. Good luck.
Hello everyone, I'm Anahit and I'm the Head of Strategy at One Armenia. One Armenia was founded in 2012 with a simple idea: to unite individuals around the world to build a thriving country with radical transparency at the heart of it all. In 10 years, we raised over $7 million for 35 different projects, 3 of which were in tourism. Last year, as a response to COVID, our startup 2492 was born, named after the origin year of founding of Armenia, 2492 BCE. Armed with our experience in tourism and our skilled team, we shifted gears to emotionally connect travelers to Armenia's vibrant soul, with a mission of making Armenia the #1 destination in the South Caucasus. To do so, we focused our efforts on finding a solution to a very specific problem: that Armenia is not on travelers' bucket lists. The things that we identified that contributed to this problem were that Armenia is not recognized as a destination for experiential travel. And there's no streamlined way of finding unique and authentic experiences, so this ultimately leaves travelers feeling disconnected from local people who are the soul of a destination. To work towards a solution, we began building capacity and developing world-class experiences, because 66% of revenue from experiences stays in-country, compared to the 20 to 33% of other forms of tourism. We're also building a customer-centric platform, and we're nurturing top talent to attract investment to Armenia. The model is simple, and it's that of an incubator with strong ethical commitments. One Armenia NGO utilizes grant funding and donations to develop world-class experiences, while 2492 is the travel brand that connects travelers to those experiences and other products that meet our sustainability criteria. Because of our roots as an NGO, we are the only travel brand which is advancing sustainable travel practices in Armenia, and we're one of the only in the region. When we launched our startup, we invited 50 stakeholders in tourism to come to a dinner party. The photos and videos from this event went viral in Armenia, and to this day, we see imagery used from this event to promote tourism to Armenia. There was so much interest from people wanting to experience this for themselves, and because everyone likes to travel with their stomachs, we created our marquee product, Wild Food Adventures, which connects travelers to local hosts for an immersive meal combining local and seasonal ingredients, regional history, and stunning locations. In addition to input and expertise from local chefs, we also have internationally renowned chefs advising us on the development of this product. To date, we've only had 5-star reviews on TripAdvisor. But Wild Food Adventures isn't just an incredible 3-course meal. We worked with a local food historian who revived forgotten stories and recipes, and once specific dishes were identified, we worked with the best culinary arts school in Armenia to ensure that our local partners could meet global standards in their food preparation. And this included training in things like basic hospitality and food waste management, in first aid and hygiene practices. We also made sure that they underwent training in English, branding and marketing, equality, diversity and equity, and environmental protection. We also procured locally made materials needed to realize this experience, which essentially set our partners up so that they could just focus on hosting the guests and telling their story. To date, we've launched, as 2492, we've launched 3 different product lines. We've hosted, 3 product lines targeted at small groups of up to 8 people. We've hosted over 100 travelers from 7 different countries. We're gearing to launch a further 9 experiences and our booking platform financed by GIZ. And we've even been featured in Forbes magazine as one of the 11 can't-miss culinary experiences in Armenia. Sustainability is a core principle for us, and we are actively working towards and tracking against 6 different SDGs. Number 1, all of our product partners and their employees are compensated fairly. Goal number 5 is very important for us at One Armenia and 2492, with the majority of our management being female and 50% of managers and decision makers across product lines being women, and an emphasis on having inclusive experiences for all genders. Our shift into experiential travel was very much driven by Goal 8, and we create decent work for our partners and ensure that this is all based on policies we have in place on fair pay and non-discrimination. To work towards Goal 10, we make sure that local people are stakeholders in the products themselves. To work towards Goal 15, a portion of Wild Food Adventure bookings is donated to local conservation organizations to amplify impact, and all of our product partners and employees are trained on environmental protection. And of course, none of that is possible without partnership with other organizations and with the government of Armenia through the Ministry of Economy's Tourism Committee, and of course, other governmental entities like GIZ. In addition to the SDGs, we have our own sustainability scorecard, which tracks and rates all of our products out of 5 against a triple bottom line of sustainability: people, profit, planet. We have various metrics in place to track our progress, including indicators for gender disaggregated data on experience in ownership, employment, accessibility, the trickle-down effect into the local economies, and the environmental factors that go towards creating and operating an experience. Where we see that any product is underperforming, we strive to improve it through quality management. We minimize our overhead costs as our team works both for 1A and 2492, and our costs are around $250,000 a year, with a Wild Food Adventure at $25,000. We are looking to raise $500,000 to continue franchising across the country, and with the right investment, we can apply this model anywhere globally. And the return on investment are in economies of scale across marketing, operations management, and training, because our team has the on-the-ground know-how to do this efficiently. We de-risk failure by shedding the less successful products and focusing on the known successes. And we scale with sustainability. Thank you very much. Follow us on Instagram, look at our websites, book your own Wild Food Adventure. We look forward to welcoming you in Armenia.
Thank you very much. I bet everyone has at least one new destination on their bucket list. The next finalist was sadly not able to join us here today in Nara and will be presenting virtually. I present Mauro Germani, CEO and co-founder of Soplaya, a platform boosting liquidity for suppliers and great chef-to-farmer matching. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mauro, CEO and co-founder at Soplaya. We are building Europe's most sustainable, diverse, and efficient B2B food supply service. We are connecting chefs and farmers through an online marketplace and a network of lean physical hubs in order to cut every middleman and support these direct connections through operations excellence. In the last 3 years, we built a network of over 3,000 chefs and 300 farmers, and we are providing them with a supply service which is 50% more carbon efficient and 21 points more operationally efficient. We are doing so because we want to challenge the status quo of B2B food supply, and because we believe in a more transparent, fair, and democratic food system. But what happens today before Soplaya? Chefs are forced to choose between 2 flawed options when purchasing. They can choose between mass distribution, providing antiquated service, undifferentiated products, and lack of transparency, or they can choose to buy from farm direct, meaning that they will get inefficient deliveries, complexity to manage the network, and a huge time investment, and a daily queue of deliveries every day, adding operations risk to the business. But for farmers, it's even worse, because in the case of mass distribution, they get an antiquated service too, but they get low margins and slow payment, and lack of transparency and no data to support and grow their business. And in the case they decide to do things autonomously, they provide inefficient deliveries, they have to spend a huge amount of time and money, and they get all the payment risk. And additionally, everything has changed forever in food service in the last years. And so both of these options are getting worse and worse at an unprecedented rate. And that's because the produce prices are meaning a spike in food costs for restaurants. The labor cost growth and the lack of hundreds of thousands of laborers in food service is meaning less time to run orders, deliveries, and inventory. And food delivery boom means that the number of seats in a restaurant no longer means the number of meals to be served. So produce prices growth, labor cost growth, and unpredictability of the demand are the reasons why chefs and farmers are looking proactively for solutions and for change. That's why we built Supplya. Our solution, in fact, cuts middlemen, create direct connection between chefs and farmers, and supports them through operations excellence, meaning that farmers are getting 4 hours per day savings. They get better margins, up to 18%. And they get hassle-free logistics without upfront investment. And chefs, they get a savings of 2 hours per day, they get better food costs with a reduction of 12%, and they get on time, without errors deliveries every day. All of that has brought us to a growth of 41% month over month since 2 years, while doubling margins. And that's because restaurants are getting a revolutionary buying experience. Just to give you some example, they get unified invoicing and payments for all producers. They're able to reorder for every chain location that they may have in one click from an app or a computer. They get a unified delivery in their favorite slot 6 times per week in just 12 hours from the order. And they get also automated reporting, and they cut to zero ordering errors and food cost errors as well. All of this has been possible because we've built the technology to transform the operations model of food service forever. And the things we are most proud of are the fact that we cut food waste by 98%, we cut emissions by 50%, and we provide on-time in full deliveries 21 points above industry average. But let's look at the future. We put together an operationally focused team with great talents coming from the leading companies in operations, food service, and technology. And this is the fundamental of the next years of growth at Supplya. And we are proud to be supported by leading European funds, and more to be announced at the beginning of 2023 as we are closing the new round of investment. So from now on, we will focus on 3 main pillars. The first one, we will keep growing by 2-3x year over year while getting the company more and more profitable. We will bring our better supply chain all across Europe, starting from Italy, and we will complete our path towards being the world's first carbon neutral food service company by 2026. And we decided to start by increasing margins for farmers and chefs because we believe that economic sustainability drives environmental sustainability. My name is Mauro. We are Supplya, Chefs and Farms United. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Now we go for our next startup directly from Colombia. We have Carola Maria Viteri Arturo, the founder of Tenemos Filo. That is a really interesting platform for booking, badging, managing culinary experiences and events in all LATAM. So good luck.
Hello, my name is Carola Viteri, and I am the founder of Tenemos Filo, the first digital platform for culinary bookings in Latin America. Nowadays, people travel looking for restaurants and cooking lessons as once they seek for museums or natural adventures. According to the UNWTO, around 30% of a tourist expenditure is done in culinary products and services. And with the penetration of online services, we have more people looking online for experiences and booking online. Plus, after pandemics, travel changed. We're looking to do more trips, closer trips, and more authentic trips. This means nowadays we have more travelers, or better informed travelers, that want to eat more. Definitely, the global culinary tourism market is growing. According to research done by the Allied Market, by 2027, the global culinary tourism market will reach an awesome sum of 1,800 billion US dollars. The Latin American market will account for less than 10% of this global market with 126 billions. With a huge diversity of foods and rich culinary culture, I wonder, why isn't Latin America on the top of the mind of culinary adventures? I know that we're overlooking my region not because of the lack of the quantity or of the lack of quality of the culinary offer in my region, but because we have three problems: lack of representation in the online travel industry, lack of accurate information, and a difficult for reaching the right hosts. This is given because the culinary offer in Latin America, only 30% of the culinary offer in Latin America can be found online. In the current online experiences platforms like Airbnb or UNWTO or some like that, only 7% of their offer is dedicated to my region, Latin America. And finally, 2% of the offer serves more than 80% of the demand. This means that diners are losing the chance to taste and immerse themselves in our culture. Few hosts are enjoying a piece of the pie, resulting in an untapped opportunity for economic growth. Our solution is a technological-based one, and a space where we can centralize the offer, making it easier to find a more diversified portfolio of experiences, and centralizing the offer so that hosts can increase their reach and thus increase their incomes, and diners such as ourselves can find experiences in a more diversified portfolio. This way we can connect all LATAM through one single space. This is why we have created tenemosfilo.com, a digital platform where diners can book cooking lessons, market tours, pop-up dinners, and hosts can manage and promote their experiences and events. How does it work? You go into tenemosfilo.com, and through our portfolio, you discover the next experience you want to taste. Through the same web page, you can book your event or experience, pay in advance, and even contact our hosts with any question you may have. Finally, you just have to go and enjoy the experience, share it with the community. Our business model: by 2027, we are counting that we will have an addressable market of 1.2 million US dollars at an average of 11% commission rate per experience sold. By 2027, we count to be making $100 million. In 2023, we count to be ending our first investment round that will help us to improve our digital product, create our first app, hire a very savvy team that will help us to move into the whole region and arrive by 2027 to 9 countries in the region of Latin America. So far, we are only selling experiences in Colombia. We have already sold more than 1,000 experiences in Colombia and are servicing around 30 hosts. All of this with a cost of acquisition of less than $1 per user. Of course, we have a huge competition. All of these, you know, the big ones are Airbnb, UNWTO, Get Your Guide. The problem with these ones is that they only they don't cater for the LATAM industry, plus They don't cater for restaurant bookings and food fairs. With Philo, we're creating a community that will not only help us to support local businesses and to keep our culture alive, but we can help our region to work towards these 3 global goals: creating more jobs throughout the whole chain of culinary tourism. We can provide better access to jobs and income generation, both for male and female hosts. And finally, we can diversify access to the demand so that more hosts and more actors can benefit from the benefits of culinary tourism. In the team, we're 2 members. We're 2 founders. Myself, Carola Viteri, I've been working in the travel industry for the past 15 years. And Angel Burgos, a self-made entrepreneur in the digital marketing era. Of course, we have allies that have helped us to come all of this way. And finally, thank you very much for listening to me today. And I invite you all to come and to go to tenemosfilo.com and taste the journey with us. Thank you very much.
Well, you were right on time, and I think we all might have a little philo right now. So last but not least, we have another startup from the Asia and Pacific region. Sangjing Park, founder of Beyond Next, sharing a special initiative for our plant-based audience, an app for vegans and vegetarians. Sangjing.
Good afternoon. My name is Sangjin Park. I'm the CEO of Beyond Next. Do you believe the power of one meal? I came across that book in 2006 named Food Revolution. And I saw this book, I realized the impact of what we eat on the environment. It was shocking to me. Even just one meal could contribute to climate change. That's why I became a vegetarian. But I feel like I was walking in the desert because I couldn't find vegetarian meal easily. It was mainly because vegetarian population was small. There were very few vegan restaurants different to find out vegan products and a lack of information about a vegetarian diet. I decided to solve 3 main problems. We provide a solution to these problems by creating a platform named Cheshikanki. Nihongo dewa Shaishoku Ishuku. In English, one vegetarian meal. We called it VegFeed. We collected data focusing on menus and build professional commerce with only vegetarian products and building vegetarian contents and communities. We collect and provide vegetarian menu even from non-vegetarian restaurants. We started a project for introducing great restaurants. We post food contents that captivate viewers' eyes and excite their sense of taste. We also collaborate with restaurants on promotional events to offer discount to app users. We operate warehouses using a 3PL service and sell vegetarian products through B2C and B2B model. We are creating our own product. We develop our products by cooperating with vegetarian restaurants and vegetarian food chefs. We publish content related to recipes, health, and lifestyle. Our users have formed online communities and more than 15,000 feeds have been created. We also hold offline meetings. We plan community activities such as dining at vegetarian restaurants and holding cooking classes and even blogging. We build a platform and develop various features to induce behavioral changes in users. For example, if you post a feed, then you can see the number of impact of vegetarian diets and also get shopping mall points. This is our business model. We are the only vegetarian platform in Korea involved in advertising, commerce, and data businesses. Our company is distinguished by 4 aspects. First, we have a one-stop solution for solving vegetarian lifestyle problems in one platform. We have established a platform ecosystem for quickly collecting information. There is a network effect created by online-offline community, and our brand focuses only on vegetarianism. We expand our target market in order to vegetarians, flexitarians, and the general public. We plan on entering global market through the platform by creating our own PB brand. We have created, based on more than 50,000 data, gathering 130,000 people. Most sales are generated from commerce, which have reached $365,000. We aim to achieve the sales of $11 million over the next 5 years. This is our impact. We form a local vegetarian ecosystem consisting of communities, food providers, and restaurants. Carbon emission will be reduced by encouraging the consumption of a vegetarian diet. Consequently, it will establish an ecosystem to respond to climate change. Our team members pursue a vegetarian lifestyle and aim to solve current problem at first hand. We have partnership with around 50 product providers and 60 restaurants. There are 3 investors, and in particular, we have attracted strategic investment from Nongsin Group for cooperating with their vegan projects. Good food saves the world. And good food not only has good value on the plate, but also has a socially favorable impact during the entire process of raw materials being produced, transported, consumed, and discarded. And I believe a vegetarian diet satisfies these requirements, and the world can become a better place when more people choose vegetarian diet more frequently. We all have a chance to vote 3 times in a day during our meal time. I ask you vote for the good food at least once in a breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And VeggieFeed always behind you to support your great decision. Thank you very much.
So, thank you very much to all the participant startups. I hope the audience enjoyed the different solutions that they have presented. I think we have chosen the interesting startups that mix technology with gastronomy and also tourism. And now, while our amazing jury is debating, I want to invite to the scenery to come to Leticia Laufer, the director of Wakaloa Innovation Hub, that is one of our supporters and partners. And Wakaloa is also the proud sponsor that has made the travel to the amazing startups to this community. So thank you very much, Leticia, and welcome to the stage.
Come from behind.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the invitation. It's my pleasure to attend to the 7th UNWTO World Forum on Gastronomy Tourism representing Aboris. Aboris is the largest private tourism group in Spain. One of the companies of the group is Wakaloa, the global innovation hub related to tourism founded 3 years ago in collaboration with the UNWTO. Wakaloa tries to connect all the players of the tourism sector, governments, institutions, corporations, academy, investors, all of them with the best entrepreneurs related with tourism. Wakalua has been supporting many of the international startup competition that has been launched by the UNWTO, including the last gastronomy ones. In this 3rd edition of the competition, more than 700 startups have applied from 90 countries, and we hope to reach 1,000 during the next year. We are committed to continue supporting the best projects that have been selected to be in this final, not only taking care of their transport, in this case to Nara, also including their solutions to include their solution in some of the companies of the group in order to be evaluated with the purpose to do a proof of concept. Private corporations have a very important role because they are the ones that should help entrepreneurs to scale up their solutions, also invest in them if needed, in order to have a real effect in the tourism industry. I do believe through the gastronomy point of view, between all of us, we can get a much more efficient, sustainable, inclusive, and responsible tourism sector. Thank you very much for the invitation to be here, and let's proceed with the awards and discover who is the winner. Congratulations in advance, and all of you. And again, thank you very much for the invitation, and I hope to be here supporting you during the next startup competition. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Leticia. Please stay on the stage. And it's now the moment that we've all been waiting for. We will now announce the winner of the 3rd Global Gastronomy Startup Competition. So for this, I would first like to invite my colleague, Ms. Sandra Carvalho, Director of the Tourism Market Intelligence and Competitiveness Department, Mr. Jose Maria Sega, General Manager of the Basque Culinary Center, and Mr. Eijiro Yamakita, President and CEO of JTB Corporation and board member of the UNWTO Affiliate Members Board for Asia and the Pacific, for the announcement of the winner. And the winner is Buy Food. Please come to the stage to receive your trophy and 4 pieces of set of handmade Japanese traditional kutani porcelain, kindly provided by JTB Corporation. Congratulations, and now we will pose for a photo.
Also from the Basque Culinary Center, apart from the amazing ceramics that you are going to give, we are going to give you several prizes like 6 months in residence in our incubator. We will give you access to our digital gastronomy platform, and also we will invite you to our amazing accelerator program Startup Journey to the final in March to compete with other regional startup hubs. So congratulations and welcome to the network.
We would now like to invite the rest of the finalists to the stage to collect their trophies and also their Mount Fuji glassware kindly provided by the JTB Corporation. So finalists, you are all winners today as well. You made it to the final round of the competition out of hundreds of applications. So congratulations to all of you. So now we'll pose for a group picture. Just move up a little bit. Yeah, because we're a big group.
Please, you are in the center. You are the protagonist, please. No, go ahead.
Adelante.
No, go ahead.
Thank you very much and congratulations again.
All of you are winners being here.
Wow, what a day. It was incredible, wasn't it? The first day of the 7th UNWTO World Forum on Gastronomy Tourism. And we have come to the end of the program. Thank you so much for joining us. And once again, how about another hand for our speakers and the panel, and to all of you, our lovely audience, and to those of you who are watching us online. And a little bit about tomorrow. Shuttle buses, we will kick off the day with different field works tomorrow, and you have shuttle buses waiting for you at your official hotels to bring here to the convention center. And at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow, you'll be departing for a hands-on experience in Nara. So where you're going is marked on your participant's badge. So please check where you're going tomorrow. And also, for those of you who are joining the gala reception tonight, we'll see you there. I'll be there, and can't wait to savor our delicacies all together. And also to our online attendees, thank you so much for joining, and we look forward to having you back here at 2:30 p.m. Japan time. And that's a wrap for day one. Congratulations, everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow. And I wish you a pleasant evening and good night. Thank you.